you need to have the education to believe in your service enough to convey that belief, to get buy-in, to get your client to do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But, yeah. And then what... It's hard. Because
Like, you still want to have a good...
Because what they do does matter, even just like the injury is a good example, right?
Yeah.
If your clients are beat up and fucked, they're not bought in.
Of course not.
And if they're not progressing...
And they're not consistent then.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
If they're not progressing in terms of progressive overload on movements...
And even just seeing the changes that they want in their own body as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think more micro than that. If you didn't add weight or reps in the whole session...
Yeah.
You want to be the trainer that has the program, I assume, if you're listening to this podcast.
Absolutely.
If you're not, sort of
maybe
out.
think about it. Yeah. Not maybe. Do it.
So, and one of the... That's interesting too. Fuck, I've had enough coffee now.
I want where he's having.
If you don't have the program to then create the structure that doesn't put pressure on you to deliver the result.
No, of course not.
So that's huge. Because
Absolutely.
you're like, I have a program here that if you don't do better, I'm exposed.
Yeah.
And it's probably the program's fault. If you show up and do the thing and you don't get stronger, perform better, whatever, like that's, hey, that's on you.
Yeah.
So you have to have good programming because you have to get that progress.
Yeah.
And you have to not hurt people.
You have to have a good program anyway. I was just saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just unpacking the layers to it because it's almost like the start of this conversation almost got to the point was like, you just do whatever you want as long as they're keen.
Yeah.
But then you start to layer it and you're like, yeah, but why are they keen?
Yeah.
If they don't make progress.
The program still gives you, so if you look at it and if you have that consistency and someone works hard and they do things well, they still won't get the results that they want.
Yeah.
If the program
Isn't
gives
it?
them the results they want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I could follow
Sandra's program.
yeah, or a body or a powerlifting program.
Yep.
And that's not making my arms and calves big.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get stronger.
Yeah.
Because I've got
Of course.
Yeah, but it's like you still have to write a program
the outcomes.
that is delivering for the person.
Yeah.
And that's again where
So that's why you need the strength and physique bundle.
absolutely
Yeah.
because you've got different directions that people need to go. And instead of just like going, well, let's do 5x5 because you mentioned that you want to get stronger, and then let's do by 3x8 to 12 because you want to build your glutes.
Yeah.
It's like you can literally go now, okay, where's this person at? What are their main objectives? Are we going to be in this phase for a strength? Are we going to be in this phase for hypertrophy? What's that look like when it turns to total work? What exercises am I going to select? When am I going to sequence them in the workout? What
How
other
the workout sequence?
What other movements? How is it going to work over the week? How's it going to work within the session? How am I going to lead that into the next training block? Like those things.
Yeah.
When you are, because they're the technical hard skills.
Yeah.
And then the soft skills are the coaching to get someone consistent to show up, to work hard in the gym, and obviously like, take the feedback on to execute things properly. So it's you still need both of them. You still need you need all of this shit, to get the results.
It's so interesting that most coaches are one or the other though, hey, by default.
Yeah,
Like they lean one way.
Yeah,
at
you're like
least.
great at programming and you're not necessarily like that much of a people
Coach.
person.
Yeah.
And then you'll have people who are like amazing people person and
Do white workouts.
soft on the hard skills. I don't even reckon they just like don't know how to write a program. I would just say it's like almost borderline lazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because how hard is it to write a fucking program?
Yeah. But I guess if you're...
That's what you learn the most though in the course.
Yeah, but no one pays attention to the course.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
How many people go through that course and then still write programs, give programs that their coach gave them? Or that they do themselves?
True. Yeah.
Everyone.
I keep forgetting there's people not like me.
Most of them.
That's the part I enjoyed the most, but maybe that's just because I like numbers and spreadsheets and
Yeah, you like figuring shit out.
yeah, and I like to be prepared.
If you are a people person and like the neurospicy level in personal training doesn't lend itself also to sitting down and studying a hard skill for an extended period of time. So if you are that, like,
Yeah.
people flat out doing 100 things at once,
Yeah.
sitting down and doing that is hard.
There would just be no worse feeling than being unprepared for someone who's paying for your time and your reputation.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
And that's a huge value for you.
Mm.
And I think a lot of other people are just like, I just want to help. And if I can be here, I'm helping.
And if they're huffing and puffing, they're
doing the thing, right?
Yeah.
So what happens when you put them both together is how you become the busiest trainer in your gym.
Yeah.
And how you can go online.
Yeah, and how you create the clients that you want multiples of and all of that stuff that we always talk about, you know?
Yeah.
You have to have the ability to get the most out of someone mentally.
Yeah.
And then you have to have the hard skills of being able to write a really good program that is very specific for that person, know how to assess it, maybe make changes based on feedback, and then you will turn those people into the clients that you want 30 of.
Who do you think gets more frustrated with their client base? The people that are just happy to be friends, or the good programmers? I'd say the good programmers, hey. So like people don't do the thing.
When you say people, what do you mean? Who?
Trainers.
The trainers?
So the trainers that are good at the technical side, but shit at the coaching side, get frustrated that their clients don't do the thing right. And then the people don't care because they're not invested in it.
Yeah. I would say the ones that get frustrated the most are maybe the ones that are trying to dip their toes into the technical side, but are too friendly with their clients.
Yeah, so not getting there.
Yeah.
Or the other way.
Well, it depends on who you hang out with too, because if you're like one of those like friend coaches, but all your group is like real technical, and they get results, you would be like, fuck, I don't do any of that shit. Yeah.
And if you're a really technical coach and you don't coach, you'd be like, oh fuck, I don't do any of that. Yeah,
even like someone I've been doing some biz coaching with, I've like tried to push, like we just changed the way we do the service a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're doing too much work outside of the gym.
Yep.
And you see these people face to face, and like they're paying you for that. Like you need to bring the focus back on the service to that.
Yep.
And I'm like, she was like, I don't know if I can like, you know, get it all in the session. And I was like, if you just spend less time being their friend.
Yeah.
And more time being a professional, I said, you'll have all the time you need.
That at all,
yeah, and then the feedback's been super positive, and you know, she was like, I feel like even the people that maybe were here to be more of my friend than get results are still now like getting into that frame of mind of like, oh, I'm actually here.
Yeah.
And even just like the behaviors in the session, less time on their phone, the check-ins are being, like the data management's been better.
Yeah.
Because you literally, you just got turned that, because of just like going back to being results orientated. So even for these people who maybe feel like they're too far away from like going back to that like regimented, you know, let's think about the results, let's do a program, and you know, they've just gone too far of like just being their friends and just like it just being like this great exercise party. You get to decide in one conversation how that changes.
Agreed.
You're just like, hey guys, we're going to move to this now. Like I'm still invested in like having a bit of chats and some bants and whatever, but we're here to get results. And I want to make sure that we have the ability to document those things so I can make the best decision for you.
Yeah. Last question. How many of those I'm your friend coaches that maybe don't write programs, that maybe don't take responsibility for check-ins? So say like, if you're a coach in Gen Pop, I think you should be doing their measurements and stuff for them, more than likely.
Yeah, that's it. Just like that monthly review type deal.
Yeah. So how many coaches, because we stood out for that more than above anything.
Yeah.
We were doing that in 2012.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing that, you're not putting your head on the chopping block each month, each week, each session, that is this client progressing? Are they moving towards their goals? Are they performing better in the gym? Is the program working? Is the nutrition approach working? Is your coaching working to get behavior change? How many do you think of those I'm your friend coaches, consciously or unconsciously, are actually just afraid that their skill set's not good enough? or insecure about their skill set, so they don't want to put those frameworks in place in case they're exposed.
Oh, absolutely. I want to have that awkward conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like, again, a conversation, a mentoring chat about moving to that monthly review. I'm like, can the check-in, bro?
Yeah.
I'm like, if you want to distinguish your face-to-face and your online service and create a gap between them.
Yeah.
I'm like, you've just got to go back to more stuff being done inside the session. Go to a monthly review.
Yep.
I said, we ran it. I said, the dinosaurs we ran it really effectively. And I'm like, you work with clientele that's going to take more than a week to implement something and see an outcome. Yep. So I said, if we look at the person that we're working with face to face, very different to your online. So I'm like, let's create a service that's going to help them. And then they were like, oh, I said something like, oh, and you do the monthly review and then their measurements don't change and you have to have a really awkward conversation with them. And they're like, oh yeah, like I'm so scared about that. And I said, Bill, how often do you think that would happen?
Yeah.
And I said, and would you have the ability to tackle that the way that you need to? And they were like, yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, well, if you're having conversations with them every week, because I was like, all you need to do is just go in and be like, what's going great?
Yep.
What happened over the last 7 days that really stood out to you in a positive way? And then they'll probably tell you the things that are going wrong already. And then you go, okay, any challenges or things that we have highlighted that we need to work on?
Yeah.
And then you're just like working on the subjective more than the objective. And guess what? The reason how someone behaves is the reason the numbers are the numbers.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you don't look at the numbers. You can already tell, and I can already tell, based on the feedback that our clients give, whether they've had a good week or not.
Yeah.
So I don't need to look at their body weight and their macros. If they tell me this is what I struggle with, you're going to go, cool.
Yeah.
And then, but you still, how you fix it has nothing to do with the numbers.
Yeah.
It has to do with the person, right? And for a Gen Pop client, that is literally what you're doing. So we're just creating a model that works best inside the session. And I would be really, really, really surprised that if you still showed up in your session and had the right conversations and then you did that monthly review, that a lot of those monthly reviews wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
The results wouldn't be there. It's just not possible.
Yeah. I think I went at 96% for like 5 years.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not a hard conversation when you show up for them. Because it's not about the program and it's not about the diet. It's about them. They're not doing shit that they need help with.
Yeah.
Where if you said nothing for a month, and just talked about the weekend and how
that's on you now.
Sharon at work is a bitch and you have to go here for work or whatever, and you just do a workout and send them on their way. Yeah, it's your fault, man. In a month.
Yeah.
Like 100% on the coach.
Yeah.